local norms, taboo, and education practice in Iban's tribe.
So I'm going to talk about local norms of Iban community. First is social organization. So each longhouses as each village is an autonomous unit. Traditionally, the core of each house was a group of descendants of the founders. Houses near one another on the same river or in the same region were commonly allied, marrying among themselves, living together beyond their territories, and resolving disputes by peaceful means. Regionalism deriving from this alliance in which Iban distinguished themselves from other allied groups persists in modern state politics. Essentially, egalitarian Iban are aware of long-standing status distinctions among themselves, recognizing the Raja Berani, which means wealthy and brave, Mensia Sarif, which means commoners, and Ulum, which means slaves. Prestige still occurs to descendants of the first status and disdain to descendants of the third. So second one is political organization. So prior to the arrival of the British adventurer James Brooke, there were no permanent leaders, but the affairs of each house were directed by consultation of family leaders. Major influence included renowned warriors, bards, augurs, and other specialists. Brooke, who became Raja of Sarawak, and his nephew Charles Johnson created political positions, which is Headman Tuai Ruma, Regional Chief Tenggulu, Paramount Chief Temangong, to research Iban society for administrative control, especially for purpose of taxation and the separation of headhunting. The creation of permanent political position and the establishment of political parties in the early 1960s have profoundly changed Iban. So the tribe still followed the predominant style of longhouses from when headhunting was endemic, at which time this style of housing was way of defense, and at that time it consisted of a group of descendants of the founders. They have continued it as a ritual unit attached to other family units, each built by a separate family, where all the residents share responsibility towards health of the community. So each village is one autonomous unit. The people of each longhouse or the neighboring houses marry among themselves. In situation of disputes, first they try to resolve it between themselves. Otherwise, the next level is the headman of the longhouse. Next level is the regional chief, which is different houses, and next is government officers, if they are not able to resolve it. So the longhouses are further divided into classes according to braveness, wealth, commoners, and slaves. Farming is the main occupation of the Iban community traditionally and even today, despite many of them went to city and get an even greater job. But not many are self-sufficient, as they must buy additional food to supplement what they grow. They grow cash crops such as pepper, rhubarb, cocoa, oil palm, and fruit. So some still hunt wild animals in the jungles. Traditionally, the Iban people hunted by setting traps or using blowpipes. But today, many train hunting dogs to run down their prey, so they no longer rely on the rainforest resource to survive.
Hi! Today we're going to talk about taboo of Iban tribe.
The traditional religion of the Iban was primarily animalism, but in recent years most have converted to Christianity or Islam. There are still a number of people who still believe in the old religion's belief system.
For the most part, the traditional Iban religion revolves around the worship of their ancestors and the maintenance of cosmic order through the proper observance of ritual and taboos. Taboos violation is generally met with a sanction said to restore cosmic and social balance and to avert supernaturally caused misfortune.
In Iban, Mali means a taboo. They consider anything that is a displeasure to their gods and spirits as Mali, to that extent that even the tribe children fear the word. In fact, the people give no reason for using the word except that it has always been so from ages past, violation of which is met with sanctions so that to restore the cosmic and social balance and to ward off supernatural misfortune.
For example, the silent omen. If a person is going fishing, they cannot say they are, as they believe they will come out empty. The second one is foretold tragedy. A particular bird, if chirps, they return from the jungle as they consider it to be the bad luck. The third example is bloody house. They sacrifice an animal for blood before starting any project. The fourth example is at attaining maturity, they again draw tattoos as a way of showing great spirit of their warriorship. The fifth example is they also believe that if it rains when it's sunny, the death spirits, ghosts, and giant hunts humans. Sixth example is in this tribe, they believe they have a supernatural job as a head hunter, in which they cut off an enemy's head, hang it in front of their houses to show bravery and greatness. They even offer the head food and have a few rituals as they believe it to be alive.
So here are some more examples of taboos in Iban's tribe.
So the first one is local belief. When they come across a bird shaped for a certain bird known as a burung ketupong, it means bad luck and they should avoid going anywhere or else they will get harmed. The second one is marriage. The boys in the Iban tribe will have their marriage arranged when they reach about 22 or 23 years old, as they are considered mature to start their own family. The third one is that the Ibans believe that whenever it rains while the day is sunny, it is the moment for dead spirits to go out hunting for humans.
During the 7 months of the woman's pregnancy, the woman and her husband begin to observe taboos. Some of the taboos are: they must not cut creeps which grow over water and roads, as it will mean that the wife will suffer from hemorrhage while giving birth. They are prohibited from building a dam,
Which is taken away.
as found in wet paddy fields and fish traps, making a lashing for the head of an axe,
Which is nyempai beliong.
and driving a nail as
Is ngelantak paku.
in carpentry work, otherwise she will have a difficult labor. The wife is forbidden to pour oil on her palms for oiling her hair, for it means that her child will have overflowing ears,
Which is tuli.
as in ear infections. Both husband and wife are prohibited from wedging the handle of a knife,
Which is ngelamau buku.
otherwise their child will be born deaf.
Which is bengal.
They are not allowed to break an egg, for if it is done, it means that the child will go blind.
Which is buta.
They must not plant banana tree, because to do so, they will have a child with a big head.
Balasar.
They must not slaughter animals or birds, as it can result in their child being deformed
Which is menawa.
and suffering from a bleeding nose. They must not pout out a coconut shells, as it means that their child will be bald-headed.
Which is lasu.
Turtle is prohibited entry into their room, because it can mean that the child will not be born. They are not allowed to dye anything with the leaves of a tarum tree, which means indigo plants, as this can result in their child having a very dark skin complexion. Whenever the pregnant woman goes to another place, she must return by using the same route so that her child will be born through the normal passage. The man and his wife are not allowed to eat anything inside a mosquito net, as this can mean that their child will get stuck in the womb during birth. They are prohibited carrying a stone on their backs, otherwise their child will be born paralyzed. The couple will not touch the corpse because they fear that their child will be deformed by fainting. After the child is born, the father will still not want to seal the leaks on the roof or make a dam if the mother is still suffering from hemorrhage.
So the last one is all other taboos are no longer observed besides the serious one, which are to be maintained until the child is able to suck its own tooth.
Since we have learned about the local norms and taboos from Iban's tribe, what else can we learn? What about the children?
Well, since you're very interested, let me tell you something about the Iban's education for children. Today I'll be talking about the Iban's education. So Iban people have two types of education, which is the formal and informal education. Formal education fully implies different kind of curriculum activities for people who go to school. The formal education of Iban people who only reach secondary school level. In addition, Bahasa Iban is also a subject for in SPM. And then we have the informal education, which as children of girls and boys aged from 7 to 9 will be taught by their family of different skills. So for girls, they learn to do household work such as weave a sarong, baskets and mats. They'll be taught by their mother or grandmother. And as for the boys, they learn more of the outdoor skills, which will help him to support and provide his future family, teach them the ways of preserving the family's properties, either at home or on the field. And also, they learn how to harvest their farmland as well. Other than the education which Iban tribes focus on, they also focus on the literature side. So the literature, they have a blend of British education as well as native arts and ceremony. So the purpose for this literature where they practice is to modernize the Iban culture while preserving what they consider to be the best of its heritage. The three aims of this literature is actually to support the various government departments in their production of technical, semi-technical and instructional printed materials for the people of Sabah and Sarawak, and to encourage local authorship to meet local needs. Last, to help in building up a local book trade such as the Borneo Literature Bureau Annual Report 1960. In Iban literature, there are two poles of the modernist traditionalist continent. One is Ijab, who specialized in the transforming oral accounts, metaphors, and imagery into contemporary power-laden narratives that would benefit his people. And whereas Sadin took the opposite road as he sought to salvage as much as the Iban oral tradition as he could for the future generations.
So we have learned so much about Iban's tribe, such as the language, the superstitions, the attire, and so on. So I would like to learn more about the Iban's tribe. So
See you next week!